Hello, my name's Jeff Fitzpatrick and I'm editor of Forex Trader magazine. And I started trading currency from a standing start in September of 2010. I put in £1,800 and over 8 months the value of my account went up to £156,000. I didn't put a penny more in than that. A lot of people have asked me to say exactly how I did it, and that's the intention of this video. So sit back and I'll explain exactly how it was done. In 2010, I was happily buying and selling stocks and options in the US markets and doing very nicely, thank you, typically making about 40% per annum. Then a friend of mine suggested that I would also enjoy trading currencies, and to be honest, I was, as they would say around these parts, not fussed at all. I didn't see any real point in doing it and didn't think that the 40% per annum that I was making on stocks and options could actually be beaten anyway. After all, I was doing fine, and I didn't need to have to start learning another form of trading, more trading systems and so on. After all, why should I? I was doing very, very well. Persisting, my friend finally persuaded me to give currency trading a go, and he assured me that I would enjoy it. Well, he was right there. But at that time, reluctantly, I opened a trading account and deposited £1,800, which I happened to have in a bank account that I was about to close. This was on the 1st of September 2010. I had absolutely no idea how to trade currency. I didn't have a strategy nor a system. I did not even have a book on the subject. However, I did have experience of reading charts and also an eye for trends that came from trading stocks and options. I thought about the currency trading, I looked hard at the trends, and I thought about how I could stay safe while making some money. I decided to use very, very small trades. I didn't know anything about news trading, and I only knew about a small number of trading indicators, those that I was familiar with from my stock trading. Neither did I know anything at all about the personality, as I now call it, of different currency pairs. So I had very few tools to use. I was limited to technical trading because of my lack of knowledge, and I could only use very small trades. Given these factors, my trading system would have to have the following traits. Firstly, just very small trades compared to the value of my account. Next, it would have to be based on technical trading, and it would only use a small number of indicators. I would trade just one currency pair, and the one that I was most familiar with. So I had to build a technical trading system. So what I settled on was trades of, unbelievably, 0.00006% of my account value. Now with £1,800, this would mean placing spread bets of 10.8 pence per pip of price movement. I couldn't actually find a trading platform that would accept such small bets, so I settled with 50 pence per pip and decided to stay at that level until my account value went up to £8,333.33. At that point, my 50 pence per spread bet would actually be 0.00006%. The indicator that I decided to use was the most sophisticated trading indicator that I was familiar with, and that happened to be Bollinger Bands. I also settled to trade the GBPUSD currency pair. Having always lived in the UK and having travelled to the US a lot, the choice of the pound-dollar seemed obvious, but it did turn out to be a very good choice. Next, I had to study the charts and determine how to use the Bollinger Bands. I found that the Bollinger Bands worked well if I used the outer lines and the centre line as pivot points. So I expected a price change of direction whenever one of these lines was being reached. I found that if I looked at several timescales on the Bollinger Bands, they worked better. If, on several timescales at the same time, the Bollinger Bands indicated a direction of travel, then the odds were that I would make money as long as I did not stay in the trades for too long. So basically, if the price was moving, say, upwards towards the upper Bollinger Band line on several time scales, all moving up to the middle line on one of several and towards the top line on several others, then they were all moving in the right direction, and that's what I would actually do. I would go with the trend and place a spread bet in that direction. And obviously, if the direction of travel was the opposite way, then I'd place a sell trade. I also realized quite quickly that I couldn't predict the direction that the price would take as it emerged from a narrowing or converging of the outer lines into what I now know is called a squeeze. And so I began trading. I quickly realized that I needed a lot of trades to make any money because they were so small. And to give you an idea of the scale of this, I would regularly have 12 trades per day, and sometimes many more. In fact, my record was more than 50 trades in a single day. But it went well, and by the end of September, so that's still in month 1, the value of my account had risen from £1,800 to over £6,000. And it continued to go well. By the end of December 2010, that's month 4, my account was worth over £70,000. I hadn't put any more money in. All I'd done was trade that existing initial £1,800. And I had a straight run of over 1,000 consecutive winning trades. But hey, stop! Run that past me again. Yes, by December of 2010, month 4, my account was worth over £70,000, and I had had a straight run of over 1,000 consecutive winning trades. At this point, I decided to undertake some formal training. I became interested in news trading, and I also decided that I was approaching my risk appetite in terms of the value of the trades I was placing. Even at 0.00006% of my account value, the trades were now getting uncomfortably large for me. So I reduced the value of my account. I took profit and reduced it down to £30,000. I then decided to pull it back to that level every time it got to or just above around £45,000. By April of 2011, that's month 9, I had made £156,000. And next, I began to develop and refine my trading techniques. I began to codify new rules, particularly on news trading. Then I began to develop my own tools, including the now famous Jeff's lines and also the rule of thirds, all designed to make trading safer, easier and more profitable. And then I began to get requests to show other people how I work and also to begin to develop training. Now, I use my very modestly priced training and my even more modestly priced Forex Trader magazine to bring financial freedom to as many people as I possibly can. Because I'm based in the UK, none of the money I made was subject to tax. I didn't have to avoid tax. The money I made was just not liable to tax. So, if you'd like to know more, if you want to ask me questions, or if you'd like to learn exactly how to do it for yourself, then get in touch. You can either do that through the magazine or its website, http://forextradermagazine.co.uk, and the .co.uk is extremely important, or contact me by email. You can get me at jeffitz, JEFFITZ, @me.com. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it.